Glory to Jesus Christ. Today is day 15 of the Nativity Fast, November 29th. Our epistle reading today is from Ephesians chapter 4, verses 1 to 6. I, therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you to walk worthy of the calling with which you were called, with all lowliness and gentleness, with long-suffering, bearing with one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called in one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. The idea of unity and oneness comes resoundingly through in this epistle to the Ephesians. And that God who is above all and through all, and he is in us, that one God. From Luke's gospel today, it's chapter 13, verses 10 to 17. Now, Jesus was teaching in one of the synagogues on the Sabbath, and behold, there was a woman who had a spirit of infirmity 18 years and was bent over and could in no way raise herself up. But when Jesus saw her, he called her to him and said to her, Woman, you are loosed from your infirmity. And he laid his hands on her, and immediately she was made straight and glorified God. But the ruler of the synagogue answered with indignation, because Jesus had healed on the Sabbath. And he said to the crowd, There are 6 days on which men ought to work. Therefore, come and be healed on them, and not on the Sabbath day. The Lord then answered him and said, Hypocrite! Does not each one of you on the Sabbath loose his ox or donkey from the stall and lead it away to water it? So ought not this woman, being a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan has bound, think of it, for 18 years, be loosed from this bond on the Sabbath? And when he had said these things, all his adversaries were put to shame, and all the multitude rejoiced for all the glorious things that were done by him. Our reading from the Church Fathers, I'll jump to that right now, will be from the Blessed Theophylact, who comments on this particular occurrence from the Gospel. I did read this in my homily this morning at liturgy, but I'm going to add a little bit more to it. So even if you heard it, there might be a little bit more that you'll be able to take in as well. So the Blessed Theophylact writes, You must also understand these miracles to refer to the inner man. The soul is bent over in infirmity whenever it inclines to earthly thoughts alone and imagines nothing that is heavenly and divine. It can truly be said that this soul has been infirm for 18 years. For when a man is feeble in keeping the commandments of the divine law, which are 10 in number, and is weak in his hope of the 8th age, the age to come, it can be said that he has been bent over for 10 and 8 years. And I'll pause there. In the Greek, that's what it says. It doesn't say that the woman was infirm for 18 years. It says that she was infirm for 10 and 8 years. This is an interesting thing to connect with this occurrence and the number 18 that's there. The 10 commandments, the 8 being the 8th day, and how that connects to the Sabbath being the 7th day. Is not that man indeed bent over who is attached to the earth, and who always sins in disregard of the commandments, and who does not look for the age to come? But the Lord heals such a soul on the Sabbath in the assembly of the synagogue. For when a man assembles together within himself thoughts of confession, and that word means Judah, actually, for when a man assembles together within himself thoughts of confession and keeps the Sabbath, that is, he rests from doing evil, then Jesus heals him, not only by word when he says to him, You are loosed from your infirmity, but also by deed. For when he has placed his hands on us, he requires that we accept the energy from his divine hands to do in collaboration with him the works of virtue. And I think something to consider with this is that, and obviously Christ was criticized for healing on the Sabbath. I think from this reading, what we're also going to realize is that, yes, he healed on the Sabbath. He healed on the seventh day, which is the day of rest, when God rested from creation. We also know in the Old Testament, after he rested, then man sinned. We could call that the eighth day. But in terms of Christ, that eighth day is the day of the kingdom. And this is a foreshadowing of this, even that Christ is healing on the Sabbath. He's transforming it. He's making it into something that it was not before, that he puts his hand on us and heals us. And when he places his hands on us, he requires that we accept the energy from his divine hands. So we have to be part of this. And as the Blessed Theophylact writes, that in keeping the Sabbath, that we're resting from sin itself, not just doing it in a legalistic fashion, which is what the leader of the synagogue was saying. And Christ was able to put that debate to rest, because he said, look, who amongst you doesn't tie their ox on the Sabbath day? So be careful of being overly legalistic. Our two maxims today from Father Hopko, I'm going to put these together. This is number 21 and number 22. 21 is have a healthy, wholesome hobby, and 22 is exercise regularly. I think that we could quickly put this into an earthly sense and a physical sense. And that's good, because we should be taking care of our bodies. We should be exercising. We should be eating well, which goes right along with the fast that we're in right now. And we should be doing things that are healthy and good. A footnote to that, and a little plug for our community garden here at the church. That's a good, wholesome hobby to have that uses your body as well as your mind. So that's another piece that I think we can think about in exercising regularly, that we're also doing that in a spiritual way. That would connect to praying every day, reading from Scripture every day, reflecting on our lives every day, praying for other people every day. This is exercising regularly as well, not just in that physical sense. You'll also remember Father Hopko, in one of his early maxims, said, when you pray, you can do prostrations. That becomes a physical part to it as well. And I think that, again, number 21 and 22 put together, have a healthy, wholesome hobby and exercise regularly. We can do this in a physical way, but it's also in a spiritual manner as well, that we're doing this and exercising regularly. That connects to what the Blessed Theophylact told us, is that if we're resting from sin, then Christ's hand is there to put on our heads and ultimately to heal us. So thanks be to God for this gospel today. Tomorrow will be day 16 of the Nativity Fast. We'll remember the Apostle Andrew, the first called, so we'll be back tomorrow for more. I pray that you have a blessed Lord's Day. Today is the 8th day, when everything is accomplished, everything is done, and that we celebrate Christ's holy resurrection. Christ is in our midst. He is and always